Hello lovelies, welcome back to Alakeoge YouTube channel. In today's tutorial I'll be showing us how I made this. So I use a two net to make this. So I added backup, I covered the backup with fabric, and I added boning channel to this in order to give it a firm grip on the body. So this is just like illusion body. So I'll be showing us the step by step of how I make this. So before that, there's a link right there in the comment section for you to click on. There will be a tutorial, a detailed class on foundational pattern drafting. So if you're having any problem with your patterns, you don't know the type of method you have been using, so this is an avenue for you to learn, and the class is free. So feel free to click on the link in the comment section. I'm going to put it down in the comment section right there. So this is for you, so make sure you click on that link. It will take you to the Telegram group. Make sure you have a Telegram downloaded app on your phone, Telegram app on your phone. So this is the tutorial I'm going to. This is a requested tutorial from one of us here. So this is it. So if you're interested in learning how to make this, please continue to watch this video. Can you see it? I just attached the backup to the two nets, and I added my boning channels to this. So that's how I made this. So if you're interested, please continue to watch this video. I'm going to take us through all the steps that I used to achieve this. So right here, to start off, you're going to need all these. You need your two nets, your basic pattern. This is it. I have my basic pattern right here. This is my two nets that I'm using. So I'll using this. Then you need your boning, your backup. This my backup has been tightened already. If you don't know how to tighten your backup, I'm going to leave the link in the description box. Please go ahead and check that link. That is where I tightened, show us how to tighten our backup. This is needed for this, so in order to be able to make this. And also you need your boning. This is a regular boning, it's a sewable boning, and also fabric, but I later changed my mind. I used another fabric while I was going on. So this is all the materials you needed for this. So to start off, I'll be working on my pattern. You know, this pattern has a bust dart. So what I'll be doing is I'll be transferring my bust dart to the waist. So that means I will only be sewing my waist dart. I won't be sewing the bust dart. So what I will do first now is to transfer my bust dart to my waist. So to transfer the bust dart to the waist, I'll first open up the waist dart in order for me to be able to close off the bust dart, and just like that, I'm just closing off my bust dart like so. You know, once you close off one dart, you might need to blend in the other blend in your side so that it's going to fit in perfectly, so you won't have any kind of shortage at the side. So after doing this, I'm just going to go ahead and tape down the bust dart that I have closed. I will tape it down, and after taping it down, I'll go ahead and trim off the side. So after trimming off the side, I'll use this pattern to cut my two nets. So I'll use this to cut the two nets. So just need to, after closing off that like so, I'm just going to arrange my two nets on the table right there like so. Make sure you use your straight grain. I hope you understand that, what I mean by straight grain. If you don't know, let me know. I'll make a video on that. So right there, I'll place my pattern on the two nets. I said straight grain because if you use a crosswise grain or bias grain, you might add stretching to your two nets. So after that, I just added ½ inch to the waistline of the pattern in order for me to, I want to join this to the to the skirts. Then I added 1 inch at the side, ½ inch at the armhole area, and also at the shoulder area I added ½ inch, and the neckline added ½ inch. I can easily eyeball this, that's why I didn't make use of my tape measure, but if you can't, please go ahead and use your tape measure. So right here, the but the waist dart, I'll be notching where the each dart leg is. This is important in order for you to be able to get where your bust dart is. Your waist dart is. I'm just going to be notching. It is important. Then you measure the length of your dart too. These are important. So I'll just set aside. This is the front fabric pattern that we've cut. I'll set it aside. Also I would bring my two knives in order to cut the back too, but I really did not really work on the back here in this tutorial because our main focus will be on the front. So we're just going to skip that and move forward to the next step. I'm just cutting for the back here. You can see that I cut for the back too, but we didn't really work on it in this tutorial like that. So I'll cut it off, and then so after that, just like I did for the front, and not allocate the dart for this. After that, I'll just take this to the sewing machine and take in my dart intake, both for the front pattern and also for the back pattern. I'm going to go in and sew in my dart intake, then I'll show you the next step. So the next thing is I'll be cutting the fabric for the bra covering. So to cover the bra, you need to fold your fabric into two. And after folding into two, then you fold it into two again. So that means you want to cut a circle. So I'm just going to be marking 6 inches. This is to enable us to cut a circle that we need to make cover our bra cup. So I'll fold my fabric into two, then I'll fold it again. So once I'm cutting, I'll be cutting a full circle like that. So I mark 6 inches round. I use 6 inches here, so I mark 6 inches round, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut. So after I've marked 6 inches round, so I'll go ahead and cut. So I will have a full circle like that. So to be a round full circle like so. So I'm just trimming off the part that is not that so straight like so. So here is my circle. Can you see? So I folded it into two. I'm still showing us how I folded it. So right now I open it up. After opening it up like this, you go in by ½ inch on this side, on one side, and the other side, so you go in by ½ inch. You know, this is why I use pattern to do this, so that at the center there's going to be a crease line there. So where you mark 1 inch, you go in till the center. Can you see I'm doing it right there? This is just to create a kind of curve at the center of this, in order for us to be able to cover our cup properly. So I'm going to cut this off. So that means I've cut my pattern into two like this. Please, this is really important. Make sure you take in that so that when you want to cover your cup, it will be very easy. So like this, can you see it's looking right now? So this is the pattern I'll be using to cut my fabric. So I'll go ahead and bring out my fabric, then I'll use this pattern to cut out my fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off my fabric like so. So I cut two of each. I cut two for each pattern. So I didn't add line into this. For if you want to line your cup, you should cut four of each. You know, we have two bra cups, so that means once you join two together, you're going to have two. But if you join four together, you're going to have four like that. So here is the two. And make sure to, after joining together, make sure to iron it. Can you see how it's looking right now? So I'm just going to get my bra cup and use it to cover it like so. So the joining can be slanted or horizontal. That is, can be vertical or horizontal, depending on how you want it. So right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pin the fabric to the bra cup. So just make sure you pin it round. So after pinning your bra cup to the fabric, so it's just like that. So I'm just going to pin it one side or both sides. So after pinning, you have your bra cup. So after pinning this, now I'll just take this to the sewing machine and sew the fabric to the bra cup. I sew the fabric to the bra cup. So I'm just going to show us how I'm going to do this. So I'm just going to sew this, take this to the sewing machine, and at the tip of the bra cup, you sew your fabric to your bra cup. So I'm just going to go ahead and so make sure you pin this very well so that the fabric will lie properly on the bra cup. So make sure, so I'm just going to go ahead and sew this round. So I'll take this to the sewing machine and sew round like this. So I'll do that for both cups and come back to show. So right here I've already sewed this round. So the next thing I'll do is just to trim off the excess. I still have excess fabric, so there will always be excess around there. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim this off. So you see that I didn't line the bra cup. So if you want to line the bra cup, so after trimming off this, you will go ahead and place the other fabric. If you cut for, you just go ahead and join this round and make sure you leave about 2 inches. You don't close it up. So it is that 2 inches you use to pull out your bra cup, but I don't feel it's really necessary here. So that's why I did not do any bra cup, like lining for the bra cup. So here's the second one that I've cut already, trimmed off the excess fabric. So here's my cup. So what I'm going to get next is my tunic. The tunic, the other time I told us that I'm going to go ahead and take in my dart, which I told us. So here is my tunic right here. Here is the back. So I'll set the back aside and get the front because we are really working on the front right now. So I'm just going to place my front here. So I will trim off the dart intake to the barest minimum. The dart intake is like 2 inches because of the waist that we transferred, the bust that we transfer to the waist. So here is my tunic right here. So there is one tip that I need to tell us. Can you see that my tunic is not really laying flat? Why? Is because I did not iron this before starting. So make sure you iron yours, but iron on low heat. I repeat, low heat. Don't make your iron to be hot. It's going to burn your tool. But if you're working with original tunic, that's why you're going to do this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure 2.5 inches from the first dart leg. I'm going to measure 2.5 inches. Why is it? Because the difference between the underbust I'm working with and the waist is 2 inches. Then I added half inch for seam allowance. That's why I marked 2.5. So the underbust I'm working with is 14. The waist length is 16. That is why I marked 2.5 inch is the sewing allowance. So right now, if the difference between your underbust and your bust on your waistline is 3 inches, that means you're going to mark 3 inches plus the seam allowance you added. This is how you're going to locate your underbust. So that's why you're going to place your bra cup. So after placing your bra cup, make sure that the difference from one bra cup to the other is no more than 1 inch or 1.5, but I will say you should just use a 1 inch. So I'm measuring this again in order to be sure that everything is in place. I measure from the shoulder to the underbust. I see that the bra cup is standing where it should be. Then I use needle and thread to tack down the bra cup. This is very essential so that the bra cup will not move. Make sure after you've pinned down your bra cup, make sure you measure the difference between the nipple to nipple. I measured that earlier before now. So I measured the nipple to nipple so that the nipple to nipple is 7, and I confirmed after I placed my bra cup so that the bra cup will not be far from each other. So and what I have there is 7 too. So whatever your nipple to nipple is, make sure you measure that. So I'm using needle and thread to join these today. So I would this is one side that I've done already. So working with this is very, very tricky. So in order for you not to get it wrong, make sure you're very patient. It might just look easy like this in this video because I have to compress a lot for the video not to be too unnecessarily long. But I really took my time while I was doing this. I made sure I align everything. I still take my measurement back. So if you want, you can tilt your cup like this. Can you see that I tilt the cup a little? So you can do that. Can you see I'm still measuring again? The difference between the nipple to nipple is 7 inches. I measured it again. I've measured it before. I still measured it again when I wanted to pin down the other side so that I will not make any mistake and lose again. And this is 2 nets. If you are losing on this, it's going to destroy the net. The net is not really that, doesn't have this body to take a lot of mistakes. So So that's why I measure again and again. So I'm telling us, have things in mind when you're working with this. It's important. Can you see? So I teach my bra cup. If you want, you might do this, or you just go ahead and just, you can play with your bra cup any way you want. So can you see that this is how it's looking now? So now, to make this to look beautiful on the body, I decided to add boning. It's going to give you a snatched effect on the body. So I'm using boning. So right now I will be enclosing my boning. So I cut a 2 inches wide of fabric, then I place the fabric on the boning on the fabric and sew. So after sewing, I'm going to show how I flip. So just after sewing it, you're just going to go ahead and flip in order to wrap the fabric around the boning. And right here I've enclosed my boning like this. I've covered up my boning. Then can you see that it's closed like that? So I'm just going to place the boning right there on the fabric and join. So make sure you have boning that you joined from the bra cup to the waist, so that this is going to hold the bra cup on the body, and you will have the case of where the bra cup is not really holding the breast. So this is important. Make sure your boning, one of your bone is on the bra cup. So make sure you do this. It is very, very important. So can you see? So this right here, I've already added my bonings to this. So I added 5. Can you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do more than this, but don't do less. 4 or 3, 4, 5 or 6, as much as you can. Add your boning. So make sure you do this to the back. But the back you can do like 2 inches, 2 on each panel. You know, for the back, the panel is 2 at the back because of the zipper. So this is how it's looking right now. So I didn't want this to look like this because, you know, I'm working with Ankara. This fabric is Ankara, and if you're working with Ankara, you can easily just cover this with making drapings. So that's what the drapings that I make. But if you're working with lace or cord net, you can easily cut out applique from there. Or if you bought applique, if you buy applique or anything, you can use it to cover the back up area so that it won't be looking like this. So for that, I told us that I'm going to make drapings for this because this is Ankara, and there's not really any pattern that I can cut out from the Ankara. So I decided to drape on flat surface. So if you don't know how to drape on flat surface, if you want me to make a tutorial on that, please let me know in the comment section. So I just cut out a fabric, like I use it to I just decided to make drapes. So I check on this, so I decided to just quickly make drape onto flat surface like this. So if you work with lace fabric, or like I mentioned earlier, Ankara cord net, you can cut from it and use it to cover the bra cup like so. Just work around it, be creative, work around it and make it look beautiful. Can you see? So I use the draping to cover it. So if you're working with Ankara, this is one styling option. Or if you bought applique, you can easily use applique to cover it up to make it look nice. You can't just leave it open like this, it will not look nice. You can use pearl to cover it up, you can use bead, you can use fringe, anything just to make it look beautiful. As a designer, just work with your creative mind. So this is how I made this. So thank you very much for watching. So if you have not clicked on the link in the comment section, that's for the foundational pattern drafting and sewing class. This class is so loaded, so I want you to go ahead and click the link in order to join the class if you've not joined the class. And if you have any tutorial idea, you can let me know in the comment section. If there's anything you want me to trash in the foundational class that is about beginner, foundational is beginners, that I want me to talk about because I'm compiling the course content, you can let me know in the comment section down below too. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, please kindly subscribe. Thank you very much. I'll also click on the like button and also turn on the notification bell and make sure to comment too. So like I said earlier, make sure to iron your 2 nets, but on low heat. Let me repeat again, on low heat. Make sure your iron is not really that hot. Oh, low heat. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Catch you in my next tutorial. Bye.